Get this over on the lift and get it pulled apart. What we're actually doing with this, we got to drop the rear differential, the transmission, pull the torque tube, and we're actually doing a rebuild on the torque tube. It's got a vibration. It's a kind of a known issue with this platform of Corvette, the C6, probably even the C5, and maybe even into the C7s. So they have a torque tube also, but anyway, we're going to do the urethane couplers. We got everything from RPM transmissions. So let's get this fired up. This car does have some work done to it already. It's got a Corsa exhaust. It's got a cam. Let's just go ahead and pop the hood here real quick. So it's an LS2. It's a 2005. It does have a fast intake on it. Like I said, it's got a cam in it. It's got long tube headers. I don't know what it's got for the rest of the exhaust, except for it does have the Corsa mufflers. So I don't know what the mid pipes are. Looks like it's got a Hurricane intake system on it, some kind of carbon fiber looking. So it's got a catch cam. It's got some stuff done to it. It does sound pretty good. It is stick shift. It's 6-speed. So let's get it fired up. We'll get it pulled over and up on the lift. Let's get a start on it first, though. It does sound pretty good. The tune could probably be tightened up a little bit. I did take it for a test drive. Might be able to address that later, but let's get it in and get the problem it has fixed, and then we'll go from there. Got fairly low miles too. It is an 05. It's got 31,476 miles on it. Also has the glass roof in it. It's pretty neat. This car does have the tight lope. I like a little bit more of the bounce sound, but it's definitely got a cam. Definitely chops. It's just got that tight lope chop. Give it a couple revs here. There you can definitely hear that tight chop. Some people love that. I like a little bit more of the bouncing idle, but it still sounds good. Definitely has cats on it. I can smell them. All right, we got it up on the lift. And like I said, it does have the Corsa exhaust, which we'll have to unhook, and someone threw up on it. I don't know what they were trying. I know what they were trying to do, but that's not pretty at all. So we'll have to cut that. This side's even worse. People with welders that don't know what they're doing should not be welding. Of course, we got to get the tube out, so we need to unhook the exhaust here. We can probably leave the tailpipes there. We'll do whatever we have to. We're gonna have to cut this for sure. And I'm just noticing a couple things here real quick. We got O2 wires like all over the place. This one's laying right on the exhaust. Someone put some heat tape on there, but still, you can't leave them lay on the exhaust because they'll burn up. So we'll go through and address anything we find as we go. But for now, we'll get the back wheels pulled off and start prepping this thing to come down. Yep. Fun. Free and clear. We did have to slip that whole assembly back to clear the shaft, the input shaft of the transmission, but as you can see, one piece. Another thing to remember, guys, when you're putting the car on the lift, when you're pulling all this out, you're losing a lot of weight off the back. So make sure you're back far enough to when you have this out, your car is not teetering. As you can see, this one's nice and stout here. I'm shaking it and it's not going anywhere. And just like I planned, exhaust off in one piece. We will have to split this to put it back together because I am going to put this back up in one shot. It's going to be too hard, I think, to try and get this lined up and the roll pin back in. So what we need to do now, drop this access panel plate off, all these bolts come off, then we can work on getting the torque tube undone from the bell housing. All right, guys, with the lines loose and out of the way, as you can see, the whole torque tube slips right out. We'll walk over here and set it down. All right, guys, obviously we got a lot going on in the shop still, and we do have a visitor with us today. I'm sure you guys probably know Truck Guy Joe. If you don't, definitely check him out. Anything truck related, especially newer trucks. He does a lot of testing, so he works at Holman. Yep.
Dave Holman Chevrolet. I do mostly fleet and commercial sales, but I basically deal with heavy duty trucks, like 3/4 ton up to the medium duty. So I'm probably one of the few people that has a 0 to 60 video on a medium duty dump truck on their channel, but that's the goofy stuff that I kind of like. So it's a fun hobby. Joe's
the kind of guy, they got a C6 Corvette in the shop and he's showing it, and immediately after he turns around, oh, look at that 1 ton.
Yep, that's right. I just pulled that truck in and I'm thinking to myself, do I really like this car? I do, but yeah, I still got to always show my truck some love.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I appreciate Danny with the shout out. And, he's helped me out with an exhaust. And he's the nicest guy I'll ever meet. So I appreciate his help, and it's a privilege to be his friend.
Well, I appreciate that, Joe, and likewise. Joe's, a great guy. If you want to do any truck racing, talk to Joe. If we have any more call outs, he'll be there. So
yeah, try to make it to all of them. I do. I travel that 10 hours the one time.
Right.
I just have a Duramax with a Banks Derringer on it, and it's not that fast, but it's fun for basically a stock truck.
Yep.
And I've always been just impressed with truck performance in the heavy trucks, so it's a lot of fun.
And he's also got what year is your S10?
Oh, my 91 GMC Cyclone.
Cyclone, yes. Yeah.
91 Cyclone. Yeah.
Very cool old truck. It's pretty much all stock, but very impressive.
All stock and
very, very clean.
All 60 foot most guys, but after that, that's about it.
Right. You actually 60 footed me in my truck, but we did catch him.
That's eventually. Right. You ran me right down. That's a mid 13-second truck. That's not what they run stock.
Well, that's very respectful for a 91.
Oh yeah.
Yep. All right, guys. Joe also has a 01 2500 HD with the 8.1 liter, which happens to be the same exhaust as the 6 liter. 8.1s and 6 liters share the same exhaust, and I happen to have in storage from years ago a complete tailpipe muffler assembly, and Joe happens to need one, so he's going to put it to good use. Glad
it's working out perfect.
Yep.
I like having a stock exhaust on the truck because I do plow snow with it. That's primarily what I do, and so when you're out early mornings or late at night, you're quiet. You're not making a lot of noise.
Yeah.
And I always like things to be kind of OEM on that truck. It's just I bought it new. I've kept it nice. And I'm just blessed that he's got a perfect tailpipe assembly. I mean, you can buy an aftermarket muffler for up to $200.
Sure.
But I wanted that OEM looking sound. So luckily Danny was smart enough to hang on to that. This is great. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we always try and keep stuff like that, and a lot of times it sits around. You never end up using it, but in this case, it's going to a good home, a good truck, and we're glad we kept it. Here's Joe's truck. There's his YouTube channel. There's the dealership. Definitely check him out. Super nice guy, very knowledgeable when it comes to trucks. If you need a truck, you're looking for a specific truck, check out Joe. He'll hook you up.
And I promise your truck will be clean. This thing's pretty.
He did drive
dirty.
like almost 6 hours, I think, just to get this tailpipe and muffler. So
Needs a good bath.
got our torque tube out on the ground here. We got our new parts here. We got our urethane couplers from RPM Transmission. Pair of those. We got 3 bearings and another piece there. So we need to start disassembling this, and there is a bunch of snap rings in here. We'll start with them. There's a big one that holds this whole hub assembly in. So we got 3 of the snap rings off. There's a big one, a medium one, and then a small one, as we can see here. And if you don't have the right pair of snap ring pliers, you're definitely going to fight it. Set up, it does have some dowel pins to align it, so we got some 2x4s under it, and with a couple light taps or heavy taps, whatever case may be. With that laid back down, now we can grab the actual torque tube and slip it right out here. And once we get it out, we'll inspect it and see what failed, or if we can see there definitely is something wrong with it. And there is the drive shaft out of the torque tube. Of course, it's got factory rubber couplers here. We are replacing them with the urethane ones, and we have new bearings. So there's a bearing here, and there's a carrier back here. Aluminum carrier has a bearing here and a bearing here. So that's your 3 bearings. Coupler here, coupler there. That's pretty much the rebuild on these. All right, there's no real obvious problems. The rubbers aren't completely deteriorated, cracked, or ripped or anything like that. But we have the kit. We're definitely going to do it. The input shafts has a tiny bit of wear. You can barely catch your finger on it. It's just more discolored. So I'm going to say that's still safe to use. You got to remember, this is a balanced assembly. So we did mark everything. We got a number 1 there, a number 1 there, a number 2 there, and a number 2 there. So we want to keep this all in line the way it was originally put. Obviously, we're changing the couplers, but we still want to keep the rest of the stuff in line. It's a T50 Torx. And we'll start zipping this stuff apart. We do have to press the bearings off. So we have, again, 1 bearing there. This carrier here has a bearing on either end of it. So these 2 bearings are the same. This bearing is smaller. So there's 2 on that side, same part number. 1 on this side, different part number.